Welcome back to SCV Today. You look at Tammy Edwards and you go, my gosh, you are a vision of fitness.
That's funny. That's a joke.
That's a joke?
That's a joke.
Oh, come on.
No,
Jim, I need you.
I think sometimes the mirror's foggy. You know?
Yeah.
People have a poor reflection of themselves.
True story. I haven't worked out in 2 years.
Wow.
True story.
Imagine how good she would look if she did.
Absolutely.
Right?
Jim Berardino, bringing him in. Survivor Challenge.
Survivor Challenge.
Fitness,
Yeah.
fitness instructor, personal trainer.
Personal trainer.
Talk a little bit about the boot camp that you do, because there's something additional that is very unique. It got to the point where Tammy Edwards, who has not worked out in 2 years, as she says, but looks great, right, Tammy?
Of course.
Very modest, isn't she? Talk about what you do.
Okay, so my boot camp, it's a 4-week boot camp. I have a morning class at 5:30 in the morning, an evening class at 6:30. It's 1 hour in length. You get 4 hours of training per week, so it's Monday through Thursday. What makes it unique is I'm outdoors. I integrate calisthenics, strength training, a lot of different various drills, stretching, really big in nutrition. Diet is everything. I believe we've kind of lost our ways. There's a lot of myths we don't understand. Should we eat the egg whites? Should we not? And I really break that down. You know, is dairy really healthy for you? Or are you absorbing this calcium that they claim we're lacking? And with those myths and with that nutrition, I yield results. Now, what made my program unique is I started integrating wilderness hikes on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I found it was a great hit. It's a great way to pull people together of the community. I get 20 to 30 people going. They're free. It's a progressive hike series, so I still integrate fitness. So the first hike is mellow. It's along a river, nothing crazy. Week 2, it's starting to get a little incline. By week 5 and 6, it's straight up. People call it Heart Attack Hill because they're huffing and puffing, and sometimes holding hands on the way down.
And that's the thing that makes it very unique, is the hikes. And that's the thing when you said, that sounds really cool. When I mentioned that Jim was going to be on, I said, that sounds really
and
cool.
he said the hiking, and I was like, okay, he got my attention there.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that. So you said the hikes are free? Are
The
they
hikes are
free
free.
if you're part of your program, or free to?
They are free to everybody. So I
Really?
encourage my boot campers. Bring your husband, your wife, your loved ones, your kids, your dog. It's a lot of fun. And a lot of people only know a couple of the trails out in Santa Clarita. I've hiked every single mountain range on almost every slope out here. I've actually lived in the woods for 6 months. 6 months.
Wow.
I built a thatched hut. I brought my wilderness books out there. I learned 10 different ways to extract and purify water. I wanted to be the real deal. I just love the outdoors. And from that point, I didn't know I was going to be leading eventually guided backpacking trips, which is what I do now. But all of my training kind of led to that. So I really like to integrate health, fitness, and the outdoors. That's what makes me unique.
What is your background? Before you got into fitness, what were you doing before that? Like what led you to this?
You know, I actually went to school for graphic arts. I went to a print shop. I was working doing proof work for other artists, and I was bored. I could not sit in front of a computer for 8 to 10 hours
Brianne,
and
are you
check
feeling
out the
them?
specs.
Are you feeling?
I am not your competition. No fear. And I'm like, what can I do? I can't do this. It's too boring. I'm so active, so athletic, and when I would go to the gym, I would always be the one that kind of gave my friend, the tips and led our workouts, the progressive plans, how to switch it up, how to keep it variable. And so then what I decided to do was, I'm going to fall back on training. So I got certified as a personal trainer. I got hired at the first LA Fitness that opened up out here. And that went really well. I did that for a year. And then someone recruited me from there to teach his boot camp, Extreme Boot Camp, when they opened up out here. I was one of the trainers there. That lasted for about 2 years before the economy hit. And when the economy hit, that was my golden window. A lot of the boot campers fell from the program. Attendance got very, very low. And the company basically went under. And that was my time to say, you know what, there's still a demand for this outdoor fitness boot camp. I'm going to start my company. And I named it the Survivor Challenge. And there's a lot of background as to why I chose that name.
Well,
And
obviously
then,
living 6 months in the woods, that kind of,
that helps you
part of
survive.
it, yeah.
Why did you live 6 months in the woods? Why? Like, what possessed you? Like, oh, I think I'm
Why,
gonna go live 6 months
I know,
in
what's
the woods.
wrong with him? I love the nature. There's a lot that we have yet to learn. Albert Einstein said we only know 2% of that which nature has to teach us. And just being out there, nature is perfection. When you look at a leaf, it's perfect. When you look at the cycles of the animal kingdom, they work in harmony with what they were created to do. But the humans, we're kind of out of whack, out of sync. We've lost our way. We don't even know how to walk anymore. Because we have concrete roads that's smooth. The Indians say the white people have lost their way of walking, of tracking, So I wanted to just reconnect with who I am, get to know myself better. I just always loved the outdoors. I love backpacking. So I just went out there. That's why. It's a different reason. But I did bring some books. I brought plenty of food, dried pastas and such. So I wasn't living off the land.
Right.
But I did learn edible plants, how to filter and extract water. Water is the most important thing.
And now you've taken everything with the Survivor Challenge to yet another level with your backpacking trips. Talk a little bit about that, including a trip to Alaska later this year.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Alaska. That should be amazing. Basically, what that led to was these hikes had a lot of attention, a lot of fun. Different community members were networking and hanging out outside of my hikes. And I said, let's take it to the next level. I always go on backpacking trips. I've been throwing the backpacking trips for my friends every year since I was a kid. And I said, let's do this professionally now. Let's take the next step. And I started by doing one trip a year to Yosemite. It's only 4 or 5 hour drive from here. Local mountain range. It's beautiful. Millions of tourists go there each year. And it was a great hit. People liked it. I'm like, wow, okay, let's do it again. So I started doing Yosemite once a year and then branching off, just doing one trip. And then as the demand was increasing, now I'm offering 4 trips. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to backpack the Grand Canyon on foot, all the way down, go through Havasupai Village, beautiful turquoise, aqua blue waterfalls. It's paradise. And then instead of hiking out, instead of doing that death march in the sun, we're helicopter riding it out. 7 minutes. So it's
That is cool.
a lot of fun. I've done that a few times.
And then and talk about what you're going to do when you go to Alaska in July.
So Alaska, this is a more laid-back trip. I do have another type of trip we'll get into in a few minutes. But Alaska, what it's going to be is we're going to Chugach State Park. We're going to fly into Anchorage. And it's a beautiful, beautiful wildland preserve, millions of acres for these national parks out there. Life is just pristine. So we're going to do a 24-mile backpacking trip. It's 3 nights, 4 days. Just beautiful. You're out there with the grizzlies, the wolves,
fun.
the elk,
You ready? You ready? You gonna go?
I'll be packing heat. That's for sure.
You're gonna be at the Ramada Inn in Anchorage, is what you're gonna be doing.
No, I'll
packing
do
your
it, but
heat.
I'm gonna be packing. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So, it's nothing to be too afraid of.
Killing it.
Yeah, it's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I help bridge that gap from society back to nature. You can go out there comfortably with a group of 10 to 12 people. I outfit the gear, the tent, the sleeping bag, the stove, everything you need. So we have a mandatory trip meeting where I give you the gear, I teach you how to pack your pack, I give you a checklist for the food items you want to bring, and we just get you prepped for that. Any questions you may want to have, we cover that. Then we stay together as a group, and we just have a lot of fun. I share my wisdom with the outdoors. At nighttime around the campfire, when it's usually time for ghost stories and things are getting dull, what do we do? That's when I pull out magic tricks. I love to entertain. Even adults, I can kind of amuse with those. So it's just a good time.
So tell our audience how they can reach you.
Well, you guys can reach me at www.survivorchallengeusa.com. Just get involved with the boot camp. It's a great way to start getting your body in shape for these hikes. You do need to be in good physical standing. You don't need to be an athlete, but as long as you can hike about 5 to 7 miles per day, carry a 30-pound pack for ladies, maybe a 40 to 45-pound pack for guys, you're good to go.
Very good.
Sounds
Jim
good.
Berardino, thank you very much for
right.
joining
Thank
us.
you
you.
so much for
Really
being here.
cool. This is a really cool idea. I really like this, and your energy is fantastic. It's very infectious. So
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for being
Thank you.
And by the way, if you can't remember SurvivorChallengeUSA.com, what was that website again? SurvivorChallengeUSA.com. Thank you for playing. You can go to SCVToday.com. We always have all of that information for not only Jim, but then also, because of what Jim left behind, it enabled Berardino. Am I saying the last name right? She is a graphic artist. She is the best in Santa Clarita. And that's not just me saying that, or Tammy, or Jim, or Brianne. But others are saying that. We're going to have Brianne on the show in just a moment. Stay tuned.